Hello and welcome to Bud's RPG Review, where I give my thoughts on role-playing games, card games and board games. Today's review is Black Site for Delta Green the role-playing game by Octarine Publishing. In this video I'll be covering the 8 2-minute terror scenario in the book, The Child. There'll be spoilers from this point on, so stop watching now if you intend to play this. The Child is described as being essentially a one-off encounter that can be inserted into a campaign to add complication, depth and strangeness, possibly even to point the agents toward a new investigation, or even perhaps to show them that they are not the only ones struggling with the supernatural. The Child looks to be around 7 years old and awake for some time, being exhausted and filthy, having long black hair, brown eyes and perfect white teeth. Its skin is covered in filth and they are either white, Hispanic or Mediterranean in origin. They're dressed in oversized sweatpants, a sweatshirt and blue Crocs. The clothes look new and even still have tags on them. It's also the same sex as the agent who finds it. It then goes on to the setup, i.e. how the child finds its way to the agent. It gives a few examples. The first is that the agent is summoned to take care of an urgent problem. They're given coordinates to an isolated rest stop used by long-haul drivers or an overpass. They'll meet their contact who has the child with them, who takes a brief phone call, then tells them to wait 72 hours for a phone call back, leaving the child with them along with a duffel bag filled with soap, a brush, clothes, snacks and some toys. The second is that the agents find the child in an unnatural location, a cult warehouse, tunnels beneath the train station, etc. While they're up to their necks in another operation, they find the child locked in a cage in the dark, and it's clear that the child can see them, even in that dark. It will mouth words and scrabble about in fear and desperation. If agents leave the child behind, they take a sand hit. The third option is that the child could be drawn to the unnatural, be that studying at home, conducting a ritual or operating an artefact. It will appear on their doorstep in the middle of the night, or they could be drawn to a place and find the child there waiting. The first impressions they have of the child is that it is sombre and withdrawn, avoiding contact and hiding. Anyone trying to restrain the child causes it to go into a fit of hysterics, causing a minus 40% penalty to all future interactions with it and causing a minor sand hit. Persuade or psychology can calm the child down. Otherwise, it will scream until it's hoarse and collapse from exhaustion. If anyone tries to sedate the child, it fails, with even the most powerful sedatives doing nothing. Those with skill in medicine or pharmacy take a small sand hit from this. It seems to understand basic English, though doesn't talk. If kept in a safe location for more than 2 hours, it will speak. If near a TV or radio, it will turn the sound up until it's painfully loud, and if observed for several hours, it will start exploring its new surroundings, with those who give it space beginning to see that it trusts them, eventually refusing to leave their sight and following them, and the agents may even be able to use the persuade skill to get it to do normal things such as eating, sitting in a certain place and the like. Should the agent gain the child's trust, they can begin to coax it to talk. Every successful persuade roll will elicit one of the following responses. I talk to things that sleep. The things that sleep say they don't like you. The things that sleep say you, and then the child will go on to mention something that the agent did that was mundane. And finally, the man put a bottle in my chest and it talks to me. The man is an open-ended thing that the handler can use. The child can be asked specific questions and it seems to have knowledge about things it shouldn't have, with the more unnatural the knowledge being the more that it knows. It will say that the information is transmitted to it by the things it seems to hear. Occasionally the things will lie to or mock the agents, and it will always open the door to more unnatural and dangerous things. If the child is physically examined, there are interesting things that can be discovered. The front of the child's torso has a Y-shaped post-mortem scar that causes a sand hit, and it has no pulse or heartbeat. Its cuts don't bleed and they don't heal, and the child doesn't even breathe, which causes a minor sand hit. If the child's chest is listened to, a strange tinkling sound can be heard. This sound can only be heard when the child claims to hear the things. It can also be discovered to have strange branded marks on its tongue, its left palm and the base of its right foot. It can be discovered using the usual methods to be aclo, and a forensics roll can determine that they were burned on the skin after death. This is another minor sand hit. If the child is opened up, a glass bauble can be found inside it, and if removed it renders the child inert. The bauble is a hollow opaque sphere of grey-blue glass around the size of a tennis ball. Nothing can be observed inside it, and if shook a tinkling can be heard. If X-rayed, it can be seen to be solid, though it obviously isn't. This is a minor sand hit. It then gives us several resolutions. If the agents choose to destroy it, even though it's a bizarre thing, it's still a child, and they take a fairly big sand hit. Another option is to demand that Delta Green remove it. Unfortunately for them, the child is their problem now, and only doing something truly impressive will change that. They can attempt to let it go. This is a sand hit. They will take a further hit when they realise that animals and then people start showing up disemboweled in the area that they left it. The next thing described is the thing in the glass. In 1768, Joseph Curwen, a renowned sorcerer of colonial America, summoned and trapped a consciousness from outside our dimension into the glass bauble. The process involved embedding the bauble in a corpse, granting it a kind of life, acting as an intermediary for the alien consciousness. The body would move and retain its memories and mind, but in every other way behaved like a corpse by not requiring food, air or the like, and the consciousness in the bauble could speak to it. If the thing is freed, it can physically attack the agents. The child is a really well thought out distraction, but not really anything more. Making what is essentially the mission something that the agents have to take care of is a clever ploy that plays upon the human instinct to nurture and protect children, which is only exacerbated by the appearance that the child has been mistreated. The idea that the things that the child speaks to can lie and mock the agents, while also providing information that leads them closer to the unnatural, is a good one, and the ultimate revelation that the child is actually dead, but killing it can produce a large sand hit is absolutely the sort of thing that is expected in Delta Green. Now, I'm not going to give the child a score as it's only 3 pages long, but it's exclusives like this that I feel should be in these kind of collections, and it makes them all the more attractive. Okay, so now I've been through the collection, let's talk about Black Site as a whole. As collections go, it is for the most part an excellent choice of well thought out scenarios that tap into different aspects of the unnatural of Delta Green. The likes of PX Poker Night, The Last Equation and Lover in the Ice have been around for long enough to be fully ironed out and properly playtested, while even the newer scenarios such as Ex Oblivione and Hourglass are both excellent in their own right for different reasons. Caligati and Sweetness are perhaps the weaker aspects of the collection, but then even then they're not bad. While perhaps not as good a collection as A Night at the Opera, Black Site has a lot of really good material to offer. The scenarios have a good variety, and there's definitely enough here to keep your agents busy for many months, of failing to save the world, their life falling apart, and ultimately becoming the mission itself. I give Black Site an 8 out of 10. If you enjoyed this review, please make sure to hit the thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and check out my other videos. Also, if you're interested in buying this product, I've put some links below. Lastly, if you like what I produce here, then maybe think about supporting me on Patreon, or even becoming a member of my YouTube channel. Bud out.